Hello, and welcome to the weekly broadcast of Strategic Speaking for Results. I am Elizabeth Bachman, your host. Let me ask you, have you ever picked up a coffee cup and thought, I wonder if I could do that if I didn't have a thumb? Or reached for something on an upper shelf and thought, could I do that if I were in a wheelchair? It makes me think about diversity and the wonderful richness of diversity that in today's world is more and more important to include people beyond race and ethnicity, but also the great richness of diversity, whether it be who you love or how you think, or whether you can get up the stairs or not. I learned this early in my life because I got fascinated with science fiction and fantasy. And I still read science fiction and fantasy. I was in the theater, stories were what it was about. It all made sense. And it opened my mind to the concept that someone who was different, who looked different, could be just as smart or smarter than I was. I've never forgotten a story where a human woman had to work on a spaceship that was run by a race that was feline based, so descended from cats. And she couldn't operate the controls because of, instead of the switches and buttons that she was used to, it was adapted for claws. That made me think, wow, could I operate something like that? I think about it now. Every day I try to text and think, could I operate a smartphone if I didn't have thumbs, if I didn't have sensors that were adapted to my skin and the temperature of my skin? Think about it next time you pick up your phone. The key to using this is to go back to strategic empathy. Make it about them. Who are you communicating with? What would it be like to be them? Put yourself in their shoes. And yes, I can hear my 5-year-old neighbor saying, yes, but Elizabeth, what about shoes? What if they have tentacles? I'll get back to you another time about that. Put yourself in the shoes of others. What is it like to be them? And if you don't know, ask, learn. How can you be a better ally? How can you learn from others and their lived experience? The challenge comes when we get trapped in zero-sum thinking. Many people react defensively to letting somebody in who is different because they have the feeling that there's only room for one person. And if I let somebody new in, I might lose my position of power, my experience. I think there's room for everybody. I think that there's a spectrum that we can embrace. Society is evolving. We need to learn how to deal with people who are different from us and to accept them and learn from them. It's a spectrum. I am recording this on the last Wednesday of Pride Month. So I like to think about the rainbow flag and the spectrum of diversity. Let's celebrate it and strive to build a world where every person can participate fully and authentically. This has been Strategic Speaking for Results. I'm Elizabeth Bachman. I'll see you on the next one.